Hi guys, I am so sorry I'm a bit late. I'm having technical issues. I've had two calls on my laptop on camera earlier and now it suddenly says my camera is not supported anymore. So sorry about that. So I'm using my mobile phone and I've never done that before, so it was a bit daunting. But there you go, we have to rise to challenges as well, isn't it? That's a wonderful way to start our life. I'm talking to you about how to embrace your inner goddess, and I will, I've prepared a really wonderful intro and everything to put in the description, and it's all gone now as well, so I will post that on there later. Okay, so you've got all the links, everything that you need. For now I'm just going to talk you through it, and if you're interested to know more, then I will be putting that afterwards in the description and in the comments. Okay, so let's start about how to embrace your inner goddess, because I'm already 15 minutes late, but anyway, I can wrap that up really quick. And it's nothing to do with religion, that's number one, okay? So let me just check if I'm actually on here, not just talking to myself. Yes, here I am, wonderful. I can see myself. So anyway, the first thing we start, okay, it's nothing to do with religion. You're not required to pray to any goddess, petition to her, anything like that, okay? That's the first thing. So the very first question that I would like to go into is one that requires physics. So put your little Einstein hat on and let's delve into what is divine. Okay, that's not a religious question in the sense that I'm going into now, but it's pure physics. Okay, so as you know, if you've paid a little bit of attention on the internet, it's common knowledge by now, it's not just in the science community anymore. We're all made of energy. Okay, so energy is like the little molecules and everything. If you break that down further and further, they're actually no small particles. Hi Andrea, good to see you. So sorry I'm late. Just said I had a really difficult time with my computer, who suddenly doesn't want to log into the camera anymore, so I'm on my phone now. So anyway, we are made of energy, and energy is always in motion, okay? So if you put that together like emotion, that's a feeling. So the energy which is in motion is in a certain formation as well. And depending on what formation that is what you manifest. That's how that works, okay? So, okay, I hope you can't see that. There's a bit on there because the screen is a little broken. But anyway, so that thing is physics. And I will also put about the double slit experiment. I'm going to put a YouTube link in the description later on about this. So you can actually see how consciousness... Hi Tirza, it's so nice to be here with you. Thank you for sharing with us. I'm excited. So am I, yes. After all this. So anyway, consciousness forms and has an influence on your experience. Okay, so physics has actually, that's quantum physics, and they've actually proven that to be true, So that is the first thing. So coming from there, that everything is energy, a vibrational energy, that means God is energy. God is an intelligent energy, or goddess, whichever one you like, whatever you want to call it. God, life force, intelligent energy, ki, chi, the whole range, prana, whatever. It's all the same, really. Okay, so on a physical level, in physics. Okay, so we are actually all the same, and we're actually all interconnected. So it's not just like a lovey-dovey hippie idea, like, oh yeah, we're all one, peace, love, flower power. Is actually a physical fact that we are. And that is the first thing. So that means each and every one of us is divine. So you're looking at a goddess talking to you, and I'm talking to goddesses here. You are all, each of you, a goddess in physics. Okay, so that is the first thing why you should, in the first place, embrace your own divinity. Okay, that is the first step. And because we are so indoctrinated with belief systems that keep us small and make us believe like we are not good enough, we are not enough of anything, there's something wrong with us in some way. You know, that kind of belief system actually blocks us. The thing is, you can have the most wonderful marketing strategies, sales strategies, and anything else, and it works really brilliantly for one person. They just go through the roof with their success and everything, and other people that do exactly the same thing, it's not working. And why is that? Because your energies and your belief systems block you, okay? Because your belief systems have an influence on how you feel, and your emotions are energy in motion, okay? So that energy, if that clashes because you have feelings of being insecure, of not being good enough, or not deserving of success and money and a happy lifestyle, carefree and all that, you know, if you believe that you haven't deserved that, it's not going to come to you no matter what wonderful marketing strategies or anything else you have in place, because your energy vibration clashes with the energy vibration of success. Okay, so in theory, that's a really simple thing. It's just like switch it around and you're going to be so great. Everything is going to pan out fine, but we know that is very often not the case. So part of this indoctrination that we have of feeling less than, for us women especially, but also like for men, you know, they are affected by that as well so much, is that the feminine as a force of power has been so suppressed throughout centuries and millennia in our society. So this is not a call for action to say, you know, all men are bad or anything. It's just to say we need to have a balance reestablished, okay? Because everything, if you remember the symbol of yin and yang, you have to have a balance in order to function properly. If you have an imbalance, something is going to go off. So it's no point in saying, you know, condemning the male energies or men, you know, and the same, it's just as unhealthy to condemn the female aspect, okay? So, but if you have that on one level and, you know, and you actually give room and sacredness to both of those, then you have a really good atmosphere from which to act, and where it's very easy for you to sustain high vibrational energies. Because if you live and exist in an environment that is not supportive of that, it's very difficult. Okay, you might have people around you say you can't do that, you're not good enough, and whatever else, you know. So it's very difficult to stand in your power and say, no, I can, you know, because we are affected by things that people tell us around us. So it's very difficult for us to, not impossible, but it's more difficult for us to function properly and to be successful in an environment that is not conducive to our success and our well-being and our emotional, mental health as well, and our physical health, you know. Thank you so much, Andre. Thank you. So that is why, because at the moment very much, you know, if you look at it from a global aspect, the divine feminine is still suppressed in many parts, and also in our own thinking. We think we're so much forward already, but we're not. In that sense, so it's very important to find this balance and reestablish that and bring good energies into everything we do, because when we put energies out there that are high vibrational, that are full of love, they are full of support with each other, yes, we have to be aware of the people, places and things that we let into our space. Exactly, that's it. And when we can't help certain people or things or whatever to being in our space, it is vital that you somehow find a way to work around that, you know, but ideally cut everything out that is not conducive to your success and everybody. So because there are lots of wonderful women, you know, that know that competition as such, or jealousy, you know, it's crap, it's bullshit, because that's a lack mentality. That means you believe there's not enough to go around, and if you have something, somebody else goes without. And that's not the case. You can both be good. If you have two people, you can both be good. You can teach the same thing, but in the individual way, how you teach something and how you bring that across and what kind of personality you are, that will clash with some people, and some people will love it. So that will split up automatically, you know, and it doesn't mean if the other person is not there that everybody who would have gone to that person will come to you. If they don't like you, they don't like you, you know. If they don't click with you, that's it. Doesn't mean they think you're stupid or bad or anything, but it means personalities have, you know, the vibe has to be there as well between you, you know, and you can't force that. So competition is crap, you know, and the more you help others to grow and succeed, the more you are in an environment, you create this atmosphere with the people you're working with of success. And the more you have around you who are successful, guess what? Their vibes go on to you, and their vibes will help you rise as well. So it's actually selfish to help other people being successful as well, okay? In a really good way, you know, so it helps you to grow and to succeed also. So that's number one. So you are a goddess, you are divine, and everybody else is as well. You're also unique, and everybody else is as well. Unique doesn't mean being better, it just means you're one of a kind. And there's no clone, nobody can copy you, you can't be anyone else, nobody can be you. And that is enough for you to stand in your power and to say, this is me and this is how I bring myself across in my message and how I teach. And the people that are meant to be with me in this journey, they will come, they will show up, and that's it, you know. And the more you really deep down believe that and feel that, the more you are actually attracting that into your life. You know, and the easier it gets as well. You will find you're suddenly doing a lot less in posting, marketing, you know, going on all the platforms and everything. And all of a sudden, everything is growing anyway. You know, people are actually coming to you and seek you out rather than you trying to grab everyone's attention, you know. Replace the negativity. Absolutely. Yes, you're one of a kind. So that, you know, and so the next thing that I'm going through, because I love to work with goddess archetypes, okay? This is not, as I said, it's not religious. It's not like, oh, you know, we pray to, I don't know, Hindu goddess Lakshmi or whatever for abundance or something. It doesn't happen that way. As I said before, everything is energy, everything is motion. So it is very important to know what an archetype is. And I've got here, number one, it's a statement, a pattern of behavior, or a prototype. A prototype is a first form or a main model, okay? The second point is Platonic philosophical idea after Plato. So a pure form which embodies the fundamental characteristics of a thing. That is what Plato defined as an archetype. And the third point is a constantly recurring symbol or motive in literature, painting, or mythology. And I will explain in a bit how I'm an author as well, and I write fiction, mainly romance. So I will also show you how I bring that together into my romance writing as well, working with goddess archetypes. And then also the fourth point, a collectively inherited unconscious idea pattern of thought, image, etc., that is universally present in individual psyches as in Jungian psychology. I've got that from Wikipedia. I'm going to drop the link in the description later as well, which I've had everything there and then the camera didn't work. So there you go. So archetypes are also very close analogies to instincts in the sense that it is impersonal and inherited traits that present and motivate human behavior long before consciousness develops. It also influences feelings and behaviors after the development of consciousness. That means archetypes are personifications of certain universal behavioral or psychological patterns that you have. Okay, so in mythology, if you look at certain goddesses and gods or even power animals and things like that, you look at the energies they represent, at the behavioral patterns, at the psychological patterns as well. Okay, that's actually, it's just, you know, you take that, like let's say for instance anger. Yeah, we could use anger and look at which goddess corresponds with that. So there is one, for example, there is Pele. She is the Hawaiian goddess of volcanoes. You know, she's eruptive. Okay, she's going like bah! Like that, and very powerful. Then we have in the Egyptian mythology we have Sekhmet, the lion goddess. You know, she's like, she roars and she goes for everything she wants. You know, and she's not just a goddess of war; she's also a goddess of healing. So, you know, there's always two sides of it as well. Of course, you know, if you look at the layers in the story of Pele, for example, it tells you the whole geographical development of the area of the Pacific Islands as well, long before there has been discovered in modern science. Okay, because there's so many different layers. If you go on my website, it's tirzaschaefer.com/goddesses, and you just pick one, you can pick Pele, you click on it, and then the page will open up. And I explain a lot about that as well. So, for example, if you want to work up, so you can work with these goddesses, and you can say, well, I want to work on my anger issues, or I'm so scared all the time. I'm always scared of everything, and it seems to paralyze me. I don't know what that is. I need to work with that. You can. And that's something, you know, it's like I'm a storyteller and I go really well with that. It works for some people and for some it doesn't, because it's just too woo-woo maybe or something. But, you know, it's individual, up to you. But you can go and look at the meaning of the mythology as well itself in the first place. Then you can look at the meaning of the mythology and see, what kind of pattern are we talking about here? What kind of energy is that? How can I work with that? And what I like to do, I also do a goddess circle monthly, and I have a goddess every month. And then in this group that I have, I explain about the goddesses that we're, you know, using, that we're working with in that particular month. And then I also do a guided meditation with that. So you meet this goddess, but it's not like an outside higher being, but she's part of you personified. So the last one we had in May now, that was, for example, it was the Norse goddess Hel, okay? And she is the goddess of fear, of lack, of despair, things like that, you know. So you would think, okay, why is it important to work with a goddess like that? That doesn't sound very positive, does it? But the thing is, we have also within us a lot of deeply hidden fears and traumas and things we have to work out, you know, because if they stay in our subconscious, they will block us from achieving what we want to achieve. We get to a certain level and then it's very hard, or we have to force everything to, you know, and you can't sustain a success on force, because you'll be overwhelmed, and, you know, in the end you're going to have a burnout or something, you know. I actually had a burnout last year, so there you go. That doesn't work, I know from experience. So what you have to do then is, when you personify this archetype, and that part of you that is afraid, that is despair, that feels like a victim and hopeless and disempowered, then you can actually go on and speak to that part. You can work with that part. You can interact with that part of you. You can say, look, you know, I know in that situation, in that trauma, when that first occurred, you were a little child, maybe you felt totally disempowered, you know, at the mercy of adults who mistreated you or something, for example, if that's where that comes from, if that's such a childhood trauma. You know, but now you can reclaim your power. And there is another way. You don't have to be in that mode of defense and, you know, and hiding yourself and going like, oh, don't do anything to me, don't look at me, because, you know, if you have that inner feeling of don't look at me because I'm afraid you're going to hurt me or reject me when you do, and when you see that I'm not good enough, you know, for example, then that is something, if you're not aware of that, and if you don't unearth that and work with it and heal it and let it go, you will always subconsciously be blocked, and you're going to wonder why nobody's watching your videos, if you dare at all to go on video, on camera, right? So that is something that you can work with over time, and it's going to be very, very deep. You can do it as slow as you like. It's very personal because you can interact with that, and that helps to externalize that to a certain point, that fear as well, and talk to it rather than just saying, okay, there's a fear in me, and then you see you have that image of that fear being a part of you. But if you personify and externalize it, you can say there's something outside of me, it doesn't belong to me. And you see already you're creating a distance to that fear. And then you can say, thank you so much. This pattern has developed in self-defense as a child because it was a matter of perceived life and death. And you know, but I don't need you any longer. And right now you're actually harming me rather than doing me good. And I know you want to protect me, but you're not doing the right thing anymore. So I'm letting you go with love, and thank you for caring about me. Okay? Don't be angry at it. That's a pattern that you've developed to protect yourself. Okay? So that is something that your ego as a little child or something has brought up and put in place as a protective mechanism. It's nothing bad, it's nothing evil. It's come out of feeling disempowered, of feeling afraid, of feeling maybe abused or rejected or something like that, you know, or like you don't matter or something. Nobody's interested in you, whatever it was. And now you can say, but I step into my power and here I am. And, you know, and thank you so much. You've protected me for a long time. And that was very good that you did. I couldn't have coped without you as a child. But now it's time for me to reclaim my power and step into it and embrace my goddess being and go and bring my message to the world, because everybody needs to shine. That's your whole purpose in life, to share your gift with the world. That's why you were born as a human being. That's why your soul decided to be incarnated in this realm, in this physical realm. There's no other, you know, that's also why when I look at people and they're going like, you know, what am I going to do for a job and things, you know, or what is the best salary? It's like, no. You know, what makes your soul sing? What is your soul purpose? What is your heart's desire? Do that. And when you do that with total abandon and totally believe in it and in yourself and in your message, then you will strive, you will thrive with that. You know, you will grow and you will have success because people need your vibe, your individual kind of being, your unique talents and personality and all that. And that blend that is so unique. There's nobody else that can provide that for you but you yourself. And you are depriving the world if you don't go out there and give it to the world, okay? So you don't want to deprive anybody, do you? You think, you know, maybe you're not good enough or something. The opposite is the case. You are needed. So follow that call. And that is how you embrace your inner goddess step by step. And you can do goddess work. And if you'd like to know more about working with goddesses, just drop me a comment below, and you know, or just private message me. But if we're not connected on Facebook here, it's better if you comment that you've DM'd me, so I know, you know, I might miss it otherwise. And then you can, you know, we can meet up or have a Zoom call for half an hour or something and talk about it. I can tell you a little bit more. You can tell me about your things. And then we'll see if that's something for you that you would like to go into more and do some goddess work. So just for the end of that, I would also like to say that when I write my fiction, I was saying that in the beginning, when I write my fiction, my love stories, my romance, you know, I actually use these goddess themes in my stories. And of course you wouldn't know, just reading them is like entertainment, but you know, if you go on a deeper level, you will see there's certain themes like you can't run away from yourself. You go to, even when the heroine goes to a different country, she's suddenly faced with the same kind of challenge that she left behind, you know, and she thought, I need to get away from that, you know, I can't stand this anymore. So she's going to a different country, that's, by the way, in Balcony Above the Sea, and you know, and then all of a sudden it's like the same thing happens just with different people, and she's going like, you know, so she is forced to look at it, to face it, and to do something about it, you know, and solve that challenge in a constructive way. And she does, you know, so that's another thing. So, you know, my spirituality definitely influences my writing, but you won't know unless you look for it, okay? So it's not like, oh, it's just a beautiful, nice story, and, you know, the themes are woven into that. And, yeah, so... and I would also like to say I've just done my first collaboration with 11 different other goddesses, and we've done 2 anthology books, which are Summer Heat and Summer Sizzle. If you look at my profile, it's all there, and they're coming out in the next couple of days. And it's my very first one, and I've never done such a big goddess collaboration before, so I'm really, really excited about that. It's now my 27th published book, so yeah. That is something really cool. So if you also like romance novels, I've also got spiritual poetry and a kiddies book, children's book, and one about a family holiday. So there's a bit of magic, a bit of parenting and things like that. And there, you know, it's a nice mix. Then have a look and see what you like, you know. And you can explore my website as well. And I'll put the rest of the links in the description after. Okay. So lots of love. And thank you so much for having me, Andrea. All my love to you. Thank you. And everybody else, remember your goddesses. And I'll keep watching the other ones now. Bye. Thank you. Bye.